The numbers certainly speak for themselves. We have a carjacking problem right here in Louisville. In fact, carjackings are surging, up 160% in 2020. In January, get this, we averaged one a day in Metro Louisville. Haley Minogue went to Louisville's carjacking task force for answers.
Over the summer, a federal task force was created to try and put a stop to this problem. 3 months later, 26-year-old Austin Fitzpatrick was murdered when two men stole his car. So what are law enforcement officers really doing, and why?
A lot of their parents are working and they can't be at home all the time. There's no school, there's no after school programs for them to go to, so they get introduced to these gangs. I just think this is just what the pandemic has made a bigger problem.
Fitzpatrick parked his car in front of his apartment on November 16th, just after 1 a.m. when he got home from a camping trip. He was approached by two men who pulled guns and shot him, taking his keys and leaving him to die in the foyer of his apartment building. As Erica and Eva Helms grapple with the loss of their brother and son, they identify a problem both LMPD and the FBI confirmed.
We've seen everything. We've seen a lot of juveniles that have been involved. We've seen gang members that have been involved. We've seen juveniles working with adults who have been involved. So I don't believe that it's one large group that's doing all this. I believe it's separate individuals, separate groups. Sometimes they're working together. There's nothing solid to say that's exactly what it is, but we believe that not being in school has definitely contributed to some of this activity.
LMPD's Commander of Criminal Investigations in the 4th Division, Cam Chenault, tells us over half of the vehicles taken in a carjacking are being used for other violent crimes.
It's a lot easier for us to track someone down when we know, say, a registration. But when that car is taken from someone else and then used shortly thereafter in a crime, and then say ditched 20 miles from the crime, it makes it a lot harder for our investigators to make arrests. So we know these cars are used in more serious crimes, up to and including murder.
In St. Louis, carjackings decreased 1% between 2019 and 2020. In Nashville, they increased 9%. But in Louisville, in 2019, there were 81 carjackings, and in 2020, 211 carjackings, for a 160% increase. Getting a handle on homicides in Metro could begin with carjackings.
Carjackings and car theft in general are, in my opinion, keys to reducing that number. It provides the vehicle to accomplish many crimes and get away with it.
If you do get caught, now that the FBI is involved, you can be federally prosecuted. And if someone is killed in a carjacking, the death penalty is a possible punishment.
They're going to spend a lot more time in prison if they're charged federally than what they potentially could on the state side.
Detective Chenault couldn't give us an exact number when we asked for a clearance rate of carjackings, but said the number isn't high. For the Night Team, I'm Haley Minogue.